What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Phillies quest for 100 wins and a world championship. Let's talk about it.
I mean, how silly is that? Man, we're talking about practice.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
Welcome in, everybody. This is HUD Wednesday nights, only on HUD Radio every Wednesday. We are brought to you by Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Home of the best stuffed bread, tomato pie, sandwiches, cutlets, meatballs. You name it, mention HUD Radio. Get 10% off your order. Go check them out. As always, we got Noah Eaton, Greg Milakovic, Luke Brown. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, welcome in. Phillies draft recap. We'll talk about it. Why not? We're junkies. Trade deadline approaching. Who do you want? I feel like we're always going to be buyers. So
two weeks away.
Yeah, who do you guys want? We'll talk about it. Quest for 100 wins and starting with a division title, and we'll go deeper. We'll go deeper in terms of like how far is this team really going to go this year, because they've been fun to watch. So it's fun to talk about them. So we're going to talk about them more. Right, nor poll question. The Phillies will break the franchise record with over 102 wins this season. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcast, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow. Join the conversation. Come on in. Yeah, absolutely agree. 41-25 is what they have to play in the second half of the season.
Yeah, 66 games left. Yep.
Yeah, to get the 103. So, yeah, I mean, come on. If they don't, then I don't feel great going into the playoffs. Like 41-25 isn't like asking for a ton. It's not asking for am I over asking? Somebody said no.
Hello. Ring doorbell. Ring doorbell alert.
Let's get that phone on silent.
Yeah, I mean, maybe start that at the beginning. You know,
First timer here?
Yeah,
First timer.
Maybe think about that when we first come in here.
First time, long time. Yeah.
Hey, Mike, is that who was calling? Was Mike calling?
Sorry about that. A little dicey on the weather on a Wednesday night out here.
No, dicey everywhere for sure. Not dicey is they're getting over 102. Write it down. How are they not? I mean, this team wins when guys are out anyway. When guys are out, all they do is win. So that's a culture thing. Bryce Harper's talked about it. This isn't like, oh, Tom, look at you. You made this awesome thing up about culture tonight. Like, everybody listen to Tom. No, this is the facts. This is the worldwide leader of real talk, 101 conversations here. And Bryce Harper even said they like to eat together. They like to go out together, right? They like to play some cards together. You know what? They like to have a couple cocktails together. They like to work out together. They like to play baseball together. They like to practice together. And they sure as hell like playing in games together. And if you don't think that matters when you're talented, then you're delusional. There's no reason for this baseball team to like take their foot off the gas. I don't think that's how they operate. They know what the goal is. They're primed to win. You know, we had 1 million all-stars. Half the all-star team's us. I mean, if not now, when? So, yeah, I mean, I don't care about 102. That doesn't, like, make me go 6 to midnight. Like we talked about pre-show about WWE trucks, right? but, listen, that tells me you're playing great baseball down the stretch. And then who has a problem with that? Like, if they don't go in the lulls and they don't play terrible baseball and they continue on what they've been doing, well, then we feel better going into the postseason, right? So even though 102 doesn't matter, it's nice to get 100. Like, everybody's going to say, oh, you're not going to win it because you got to, have no shot. Okay, let's go win it too then. Let's change the narrative that you can play baseball all year round good or great. Let's change the narrative. Like, why is it like, they're only going to play great in the regular season, then they're going to stop. Like, why? Why can't you just have a great year? I don't understand. Is that not allowed? We watch baseball long enough. We watch sports long enough. Some teams just have a great year. Why not us? So, agree. Let's go. I just tried to extend that poll a little bit, right? and find some more conversation with it. But, yeah, no, I mean, listen, they're awesome. Mike's been here forever with it. Greg, Noah, you know, Luke just got on board when we're winning here, per se. Not calling him a front runner. This is when he came and joined us. Joined us this time. But us guys spent a lot of time talking and circle jerking about prospects that never mattered and what the future looked like. And to be able to be at this point right now, because of John Middleton and stupid money, which I had fun with them about, right, and got on them about at certain times. But the hiring of Dave Dombrowski and just the change in
proven winner.
Yeah, what this roster's looked like. It's just been, listen, it's been fun to be able to come on here on a Wednesday night and open with Phillies and what most consider the dog days of summer. This ain't no dog day. It's the best team in baseball. Let's talk more about them. There you go. That's it. That's all I got.
Love it.
Appreciate you.
I'm going to agree. And not only am I going to agree, I think they shatter it. I'm looking at like 110 because I feel like if JT comes back healthy and the pitching staff, improves because they're throwing to their guy and he's hitting pretty well, I could very easily see them going 110.
So that's 48 and what, 18, 17?
Ooh.
That's a clip. I love it. I love it because
it's basically
bang bang.
They're on right now. 30.
Yeah, because 43 and 23 puts them at 105. That's insane. I love it though. I love it.
But it's not like the crazy thing is it's not nuts.
No.
Right, because like Mike said, it's the same. It's about the same winning clip that they're doing right now. That's 64, 65%.
Yeah, I was doing the math earlier. They have 64% now. They would have to win 63% just to get the record. So they're on pace with the JT injury, with the Trey Turner injury, with Harper, with Schwarber injuries. And also I'll kind of base my argument of what we were talking about last week with me and Greg and Chrome. The rest of the league is just not that good. And I think that going back to your argument earlier, Tom, about, going into the playoffs and changing the narrative, I think it's just a different year. I think that there are probably 5 legitimate contenders, and I get it. Baseball is baseball, and you never really know. Hint 2022. But at the same time, I just feel like they're just running through teams in series, and they're going to have home field advantage. So, you know how hard it is to win there. I'm emphatically agreeing.
So
yeah,
Luke, I want to add something to what you just said, though, too, because I feel like everything you said is spot on. But I think if there's anything that they've learned over the last 2 years, I don't think Topper takes his foot off the gas this year. You may get some pitchers late in September whose starts get limited to like 5 innings, but I don't see them resting a guy like Harper 3 times a week, like late September. I don't see them resting Turner twice a week late September. I see them running that same lineup out there every day, going right through the finish line and right into the playoffs.
It's a great point.
Especially with
Agreed.
that golf, right, Mike?
Agreed, especially if we get that bye.
Yeah.
Is that where you were going, Greg?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going with that week off that we've taken advantage of the Atlanta Braves coming out slow. Yeah,
that's where you get your rest. But to Mike's point, I need all those reps. Like I don't want to. Why would I change my AB numbers off of how good I'm playing? No. That's what gets teams in trouble.
Right.
Like no. If I had to fight and claw to get in here, I'm gonna act like I'm fighting and clawing to get in here. So if I'm gonna get 500 at bats, I want my guy to get 500 ABs. And the problem is when you drop that number hypothetically down to 450. Well, dude, if we don't learn anything about baseball and timing and rhythm, then we're just not baseball guys. We're just not hitting guys. We might know the game, but we don't understand what it's like to hit. And rhythm and timing is the biggest conversation with any hitter, right? Be on time. If you're not on time, then leave the bat in the dugout.
You couldn't be more right, Tom. And for me, if you want to save bullets on those starting pitchers, and you want to cut them to 5 innings or 75 pitches or whatever late September, by all means, go for it. But those batters, like you said, every one of them should just be grinding out at bats until the end of the regular season.
Yeah, and it seems like that's the mentality that this team has, right? It seems like throughout the whole organization, like you said, Luke, Topper, all the way down to the end, everybody has that same mindset of we have unfinished business, so we're going to do everything that we can to get there, and not only get there, to win it, right? So I agree with all of you guys in terms of we're not going to take too many down days. after we clinch or after we get to that 100 wins. And it's going to be fun because we're going to be all jazzed up by that time, even more than we already are. I absolutely agree to the poll. I mean, 30, even if they play a 500 clip, and that will send us into panic mode. 33 wins puts us at 95 wins total, right? You know what I mean? So you got to play a little bit better than 500 to get to 100, to get to 102. I definitely think we get that. I think we end up right around that 105 mark. Still end up there, and we end up 105.
Mike, what was your number again? How many you think they get to?
I said 110. And I know
I'll
it's
go.
aggressive, but
Yeah.
when have I not?
I'll go 107 then. I'll just stay on the ride here of like, let's crush it. Let's crush it and be like, oh man, this team won 1 million games this year, including the postseason. Like, I like that. Sign me up for just beating the shit out of people, like not physically, just on the field.
So I will say
2024.
I mean,
Well, if they
I'm
win a few brawls along the way, that's all right.
Right. So I'm a man of a certain age. I am old enough to actually remember having watched the 1980 World Series. So I saw them in 80, I saw them in 83, I saw them in 93, saw them, through their heyday in the late 2000s there. This is by far the best Phillies team I have ever seen.
Yeah, top to bottom, there isn't a better one.
The old timers would go back to like some of those teams from the late 70s to 80, 81. I won't do it. This to me is the best Phillies team I have ever seen.
Yeah, Mike, and it's not even like the star power; it's how deep it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's the deepest Phillies team we've ever seen. And 08 was deep. 08 was deep. Like, we forget sometimes it's deep, but this is deeper.
Yeah,
like that's the crazy thing. Like that was deep. That 08 team was deep. It had guys off the bench that could swing it, and you were deep. You were good with your rotation, right? It was solid, right? But your lineup was deep. Your bullpen was good, really good, obviously, and this is better. This is better. Now I got to win it, but this is better. I couldn't agree with that more. Like, it's a better overall team than all the rest of them, and that's because it's deeper. Like, in ways, like, you can't look at a starting lineup and have what they run out there. Like, nobody had that. You had Worth, you had Pat Barrel, right? Like, that 08 team was good. You know what I mean? And your infield was Jimmy, Chase, Ryan, and then a lot of Phillies at third or whatever. But this infield, make the case this infield better.
Well, yeah, you mean 3 starters on your 3 all-star starters.
Well, I mean, they had that too, right? But they didn't have stock.
Well, yeah.
They had Phillies. So if you want to count as like who's the X factor, it's
Yeah.
stock. So you give. This will be a fun conversation down the road, right? But you give them the nod there. Now outfield, dude. Why am I drawing a blank? Who's playing center field?
Chino.
Victorino.
Oh my God. Okay, so you had Victorino, Worth.
Left Victorino, and then you had the platoon in right, which was Worth and Jeff Jenkins. Nobody ever remembers Jeff Jenkins except for
Geoff.
He's the one that came off the bench after the snow delay. That suspended game in the World Series.
Hit the double, right?
That got everything going.
Yep, I was at that game. But I would give it to 08. I would give the outfield to 08.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, we're sitting here talking about probably
now Schwarber. You had Schwarber in. Sorry, Greg.
No, you're good.
Schwarber in. It's a game changer a little bit, obviously. With Nicky and Schwarber, but center field they're better. So you got to give them the nod. We don't even know who's playing center field. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, we talk about this team being so good and so deep, and yet our outfield is our biggest question mark, as we just kind of went over, right? And we have people wanting to trade the entire outfield, right? Bring in a whole new outfield, like a line change. And yet we're still talking about how deep this team is, how much we're going to potentially shatter the franchise win record and stuff like that. And hopefully we don't end there, right? Hopefully we don't smell our own roses and be like, oh yeah, we won 107 games, 105 games, won the NL East, and then do what the Braves do every year and take a dump right in the first, second round, whatever you want to call it, in the playoffs.
Well, speaking of that, what would make me feel a little better, look at that series with Atlanta right around Labor Day weekend, late August there.
Yep.
It's at home, at the bank. We need to at least take 2 out of 3 there. We haven't played, as well as we've played this year, and we've had a great year so far, and I don't want to take anything away from this team. We haven't lined up against Atlanta too well, and they're not fully healthy. Obviously, Acuna Jr. is out for the year, and they haven't exactly been hitting on all cylinders yet. We opened the season dropping 2 out of 3 to them, and then more recently, over 4th of July weekend, we take a dump in Atlanta, losing 2 out of 3. So we need to find a way to beat those guys. I know we beat them in the playoffs the last 2 Octobers, but I would feel a little better if we can take care of business in that series in late August.
No, and within a 2-week span, there's 2 series with Atlanta there. You have a 3-game series at Atlanta, and then you come home for that 4-banger that you're talking about.
Yes.
That's going to be a pivotal series.
I'd like to take care of business there, and I think that should all but wrap up the division. And I mean, I agree to the poll. I think we get the franchise record. However, keep in mind, and I know we've played well on the road this year, but we got quite a few road games in September. And we played the Mets. We played the Mets and the Cubbies in September, and they may still be in the wild card hunt.
No, you're right. I mean, listen, I'm not worried about the Braves, right? But I don't think they're catching us. But I would like to play well against them. That's always that's always a plus. Josh asked a question, and it was heard a rumor. Painter for Miller straight up, yay or nay? Well, absolutely.
Well, if it's straight up, yes.
Straight up, absolutely. I'll drive Painter to the airport. Right, I'll drive him and Tommy John right to the airport.
Wait, are we getting them a ticket to Sacramento, Oakland, or Vegas? Which one? Good Lord!
Off of a Tommy John, straight up for a guy who's probably the best closer in baseball, and has said that once his arm is fully healthy, he wants to go back to being a starter again. No brainer.
Yep, sign me up. Sign me up for him.
Yeah, probably every other deal I'm saying no, right? For Painter. Like Painter, to me, Painter and Miller are untouchable unless the absolutely right deal. 1 for 1, that's a right deal.
Yeah. I mean, they both come with some injury concern, but hell, I would pick Miller. I think he puts us over the top.
One's healthy now, one's not.
Yeah, but listen, I mean, you can't have too many bullets in the back of your pen.
Yep.
You cannot. It's not like a bad thing to have.
No, agree. And Alvarado is leaking some oil, so.
Well, it's just nice to have backup plans back there. It's nice that guys are going to throw really well at certain times. And if you got a good feel when guys are on and guys are clicking on all cylinders and you're pulling the right strings and you have the arsenal of guys to do it, it's hard to beat those teams. Like when we lost, like if you look at the Houston Astros, the perfect example. You want to be a copycat? When you got to the back end of the pen, night. That's how they won. That's how they won for a while. Their pitching was that good in their bullpen, and nobody talks about it. We talk about Altuve. We talk about little guy.
And I'll tell you what, here come the Astros again. I mean, they got off to a bad start again this year, but damn it, they're only a couple games or a game out of the AL West race now. I mean, Jesus, we might see them in the World Series again.
Yeah, that AL West is a mess.
Yeah. Well, the point is like you can't have too many you can't have
100%.
too many bullets, especially a guy at 104. He's an all-star. Like, I mean,
Painter, we kind of buttered him up, right? We buttered him up.
But the Painter,
Bryce went over and rubbed it a little.
Like, stop it, people, with the prospect. You can't give up the prospect. Like, listen, I love Andrew Painter. There's not many guys in the bigs right now that I say, oh, I watched him throw live. Like, you know what I mean? I've seen Andrew Painter up close and personal. He's the real deal. But that doesn't mean that he's not expendable, because we don't know if he's the real deal at this level, right? We don't know that. Miller is the real deal at this level right now. He's that good of a closer. So if you have somebody that's that good of a closer, give me the now when I'm in win now.
Yeah, the core of our team is ready to win now. Bryce
There's
Harper
guys you
isn't
don't give
gonna
up,
be in
Noah.
his prime forever. I mean,
No,
shit.
and listen, there's guys you don't give up. There's guys you don't part ways with. Of course, you're gonna have your Aiden Millers and certain guys that, like, no matter what, you don't want to move. But other guys are expendable. You just don't want to kill the whole farm. So you don't want to get rid of all, your top 10 projects in your organization. No. But can you move on from 4 of them? Why can't you? Good organizations replace, they replenish. So they're a good organization. So I expect them to draft well and continue to replenish as long as Dave Dombrowski and his guys are here. I have all the belief in the world that we're going to keep doing a good job with that stuff like we have to be able to give us, the farm system we have now. Now maybe Crawford is a guy you refuse to move. Fine, no worries. Like, I'm right with you on certain guys. I want to, but other guys have to be expendable. And pitchers, fuck yeah. Excuse my language, but absolutely.
Yeah.
Pitchers are still the most expendable thing in the world because, like, especially young ones, no clue. He ain't Paul Skeens like this to give everybody that. Like, you ain't getting that. No, I don't know. I mean, is he coming back throwing 100? Somebody, let me know, and I might change my mind and be like, we'll let Painter close at the end of the year.
2 guys in this organization that are untouchable, and it's Miller and Crawford, and that's it. Now, am I gonna package Painter with 3 other top 20 prospects? No, absolutely not. The deal has to be right. But Miller and Crawford are the only 2 for me that are untouchable.
Interesting that you have Crawford as an untouchable. With
the
the way
A's will take anything. I mean, shit.
I don't disagree. It's just with the way our outfield is already structured. I feel like Crawford is the one piece that you can dangle almost. You know what I mean? Because where is he kind of going to play, right? Especially if we're in for a right fielder right now. And I'm not saying he's playing right, but if Rojas sticks around, he's predominantly probably your center fielder going forward. Marshy, you're going to want to re-sign in theory,
I'm of the belief that Crawford is so good that by the time he's ready, Rojas and Marsh are not a problem. Marsh probably leaves as a free agent, and Rojas just becomes a late inning defensive replacement for somebody. Crawford is that good.
I hope so. I like the kid. And you got to love the pedigree, right? You know what I mean? We talk about that all the time.
We did this before.
Yeah, I'm in.
We did the Crawford before as my joke. Like, we did the.
Oh, yeah.
We did the pedigree there, too. But no, I mean, listen, like I said, you might be guys that are untouchable, and that's fine, right? But, at the end of the day, some guys are expendable, and don't be shy.
And you have to give up something to get something.
Yeah. Murph says, I'd move 4 of the top 10 for Roker. I say it right? Rooker and Mason Miller. Lead the deal with Abel and Caba. Caba, yeah. I just won't move Painter and Aiden Miller. Okay. So that's fine. I mean, if you think you can get the deal done with 4 of the top 10 for those 2, I'm in.
So nothing against Mike, but I knew this was going to happen tonight.
What's part?
I knew that there was somebody that was going to watch Rooker hit 2 bombs on Sunday and come in hot with his name tonight.
Oh, I called it a week and a half ago.
No interest. No interest whatsoever.
I definitely brought it up on Wednesday last week, even before he came here and absolutely just hit the ball all over the ballpark.
Right, I remember that. I was thinking of you the whole weekend.
Yeah. I mean, did that home run in center land yet? Like, oh my God. I think some guy at Tony Luke's or Chickies and Pete's, whatever's out there in Ashburn Alley anymore, got hit in the face with a ball ordered.
You had to call air traffic control for both of them, but
dude, it was like the Bobby Witt homer at Fenway when I was at the game. He hit it onto the Mass Pike. Like, yeah, that thing never landed. Like, dude, and that's a crazy. Sorry, like, not to switch subjects, but that's the crazy thing about Fenway's balls go out of the ballpark. Like, even foul balls behind the, foul balls going up behind the home plate or going out of the ballpark. And just killed a guy. Like, what do we do? Like, we hit a ball in the turnpike. Guy's going 80. You know what I mean? Like, what do we do? Like, that's insane. But no,
where at Fenway did you sit?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Right behind first base dugout.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
20 years ago, I was out in the right field bleachers. And
I know where you were at. Everybody knows.
They were
everybody knows
beer all night.
Everybody knows where you were at. Everybody knows Noah Eaton was at whatever game it was and was the life of the party 20 years back.
Yeah.
Levi, what's up, my dude? Say what's
Levi,
up, guys.
what up, brother?
Tuned in a minute. Josh says, okay, do you think Oakland does that deal or needs other prospects? I don't know. I mean, yeah, like maybe you need to get 5 in there. Right? It might need to be a 5 for 2er. But I mean, they're more likely to say yes than any other team.
The bulk of the prospects are going for Miller, right? You'd have to think Miller is worth 3 or 4 prospects, if not more. And that's kind of why I've tuned out on Miller, not because he's not a stud, but almost just the price tag is too much to give up. But if you're going for a package deal, right? Yeah. If we're going for a bundle, we're talking about a couple for one special. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we could do a little bundle here or there. Yeah, for sure. Like Rooker cost you a mid prospect at best. Rooker cost no one in the top 10 because they can't play him. He doesn't play left field for them because it's the ballpark isn't conducive enough for him to play left field, and they don't want to sign him. So Rooker's not going to be expensive. It's Aiden, or it's not Aiden. It's Mason Miller that's going to be the prize.
Okay, so give him 3 of your top. Give him 3 of your top.
Yeah. If that's all it costs, I'm in.
Or if they don't like the 3 you're giving, then give a 4th.
Yeah.
I don't care about those guys. Like, good for them. There might be a guy who's like 25 and ends up being better than all of them. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's how that works. I don't put much stock into it right away. Certain guys you do. Like Aiden Miller is a guy to me is the most untouchable. I haven't seen enough of Crawford, so I won't comment on him. Makes sense. I'm just not going to comment. But Aiden, that swing. The swing's different. Yeah, everybody's got different swings, right? And you guys can tell yourselves. Everybody's got eyeballs, but it's a different type of swing. You know what I mean? He really drops the bat head. He's like a drop the bat head down to the baseball type, and like I love that type of swing. That's like a Bonds. Not calling him Bonds. I'm saying like Yelich. Those types of guys that really focus on top hand and do a lot of drills like hitting grounders off the plate to really focus on top hand and getting backspin. Mm-hmm. His swing just shows you he's done a lot of that work because he has a lot of backspun balls. And when you got a lot of backspun balls and guys can teach you how to hit with more power too, and you get bigger and stronger, you'll be fun.
See ya.
You'll be fun. That's why he's untouchable. Painter is like close to it, but I'll give it for like a Miller. If I got to do it and I don't got to give you 4 guys, I can give you 2. Then I got to do it. Then that's where I got to do it. Or 1 for 1. I mean, I'm not a moron. 1 for 1. See you later. 1 for 1.
Tom, to that point, so 4th of July weekend, I actually went and watched Crawford. I was hoping to see Miller and Crawford, but Miller got a couple days off that weekend. But Crawford, first at bat, he hit a single, just a line drive to center field. Second at bat, I watched him spit on fastballs on the outside corner that were not strikes, and he wound up getting rung up. I mean, his eye is ridiculous. It was, single A, big strike zone. He gets rung up. Third at bat, they go out to that outside corner again. Boom, Oppo Taco. A week later, he gets bumped up to Double A.
Yeah.
So
from that approach,
you've had eyes on Miller. I've had eyes on Crawford. I think between the two of us, we've seen enough of these guys to know what's real and what's not. So where you are with Miller is exactly where I am with Crawford.
And Abel can go yesterday.
Yeah, Abel. I'm good. Should have traded him last year when he was still a top 5 prospect.
Yeah, like there's other guys. There's other arms can take a hike. Like Painter's your big sell arm wise, right? That's the Phillies' big sell arm wise if they were going that direction. Outside of him, I don't know who else is like in his conversation. Right? I don't know if there's a name I'm missing that's in the Painter conversation, arm wise in our organization.
No, so, they have a couple of guys having good years, but no one's in that level. No.
Yeah, so
Gary's dropped, Abel's dropped.
Yeah, they stink. But it'll be a guy like we didn't. You know what I mean? It's always a guy like you didn't expect. It happens all the time. So You'll get a guy who figures stuff out and gets better and learns how to pitch and, whatever.
But if you keep going, like, when we talk about these deals and, we all do it, right? You look back at what the Dodgers have given up or what they haven't given up to make all the moves that they make. Like, I almost think that we're selling too high just because we're thinking, everybody's trying to get the best out of it, right? Like, because we can eat all the money on these contracts and stuff like that, and we have the leverage of that, we don't necessarily have to give up 3 of the top 10 prospects. Because what has the Dodgers ever given up to get they didn't give up anything to get Trey Young Trey Turner, right? Trey Young. And Dombrowski's not an idiot, too. That's the other thing, right? Dombrowski's not going to give up something where he's not going to feel like he won in the deal.
Well, when you're giving cash up too, if you're willing to give like cash in deals too, like it sells the shit for them.
Yeah, Levi Clausen's having a good year this year. He's one of those guys that has jumped up this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't hurt that Painter's hurt. You know what I mean?
How old is he?
What I was going to say was the thing that kind of strikes me is if you look at the Phillies, they just re-signed Wheeler. They just re-signed Nola. They just extended Sanchez. They're already talking about extending Ranger. Yep. That's 4 out of your 5 starters accounted for already.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you can never have too much pitching, but does a guy like, an Abel or a Painter or a McGarry or even a Clausen, do they become expendable just because of the fact that at the major league level, 4 out of your 5 and potentially all 5 of your starters are under contract for 2, 3, 4 years?
Oh, Mike, that's
22,
the
Tommy.
22. Okay. That's the caveat to all of it. Like, that's why these guys are all expendable, because in that part of your team for the next 3 to 4 years, even maybe longer, hopefully, with some of the, Ranger and Sanchez being younger, but it's sort of set up, right? It's sort of set up. And he said, you draft well, you get guys up here real quick. So I'm not saying you're getting number 1 pick and getting Skeens, but you can, if you draft well, you can guys have guys up in 2 years, the way it goes now. So no, that's the position. That's why I say the other guys are sort of more untouchable, because I think they have roles here down the road where the pitchers, I don't know where their roles come in. Like, yeah, Painter, dude, if he's money, he'll be up here. And you slide him right in the 3-hole, right? Slide him right in the 3-hole, and he's just freaking Dyson if he's that good. I'm good with that too. You know what I mean? Okay. And then look at your 5th starter, Sanchez. That's fun. That's fun.
Hey,
so, there's a lot. But again, I'll move it to win. You move it to win.
Talking about players moving up quickly, I mean, Skeens obviously being a prime example and having a great rookie year. Is it me, or has college baseball become much more competitive now and a much deeper talent pool? And maybe we can attribute that a little bit to the NIL money.
No, I think it's
Absolutely,
actually maybe. You know what it is, Noah? It guys are better now, right? Like, this is what it comes down to. Like, back in the day, you didn't get the circuit that these guys play in pre-college. That's what nobody, like, no, not you. Like, I don't understand. Right. Like, that wasn't, like, 15 years ago, that wasn't as hot, right? It wasn't as hot as it is now. So when you talk about, like, the PG events and you talk about the big circuit that a lot of these guys go playing,
showcases and all that.
Yeah, they're playing against the best of the best in these tournaments. That's all they play against. Then they go to, so they're already ready. The special guys, right? The Power 5 guys, they're already ready for college baseball. Right? You're gonna always get your guys that go other routes to get there, but I'm talking about like your 1%ers, right? Your freaks. So they're already ready to go. Like they've seen it all. They faced it all. Skeens faced the best hitters in the circuit. Then he goes to college and faces the best hitters there. And when you dominate, you dominate. So when you
they're playing in summer all-star leagues like the Cape Cod League and this, that, and the other. I mean,
yeah, just listen, the whole circuit, just playing in high-level tournaments and showcase stuff against the best guys yearly in the circuit, yearly. We're talking about when these guys are freshmen, they're in that circuit because they're that good most of the time.
Yep.
So they're just used to it. And then the training is at another level now.
Yep.
Right? No matter where you live, you can get your work in.
Yep.
Guys can get better. And so that's what happened. It's created competition throughout it, and it's created even got more of a talent pool, to your point, Noah, to choose from. It's more of a talent pool because more guys are doing it than I would say ever, because travel ball is all over the country. So I don't know. That's my point of it. And not that we didn't play a lot of baseball back in the day, but you weren't getting eyes on you.
20 years ago, there was no travel ball. You know, there was no PG. There were no showcases. I mean, like, your travel ball was like your Legion team went to the next town over. Like that was travel ball. But you know, Noah, to your point, it's interesting if you take a look, and I'm going to make a bit of a generalization here, but I feel like it holds true.
I mean, when I tuned into the College World Series, it seems like everybody was throwing 95.
Right. But and here's the thing: if you look at the Major League draft philosophy, I think you're starting to see a shift in. So Major League teams will draft college arms and high school position players.
Yeah.
They want to develop the position players themselves, but they want those arms ready as soon as possible.
Yeah, because they don't want to wait 5 freaking years for their number 1 or number 2 draft pick to be able to help them at the big league level.
Well, hit the like, hit the subscribe, stay with us, fam. You guys are right. And you only get so many bullets in the chamber when you talk about pitchers before, you hope it doesn't happen, but before there's some kind of arm issue that needs to get sorted out in some fashion. So, like I always said it back in the day, like, what are we waiting on with these guys, right, Greg? Like, Mike, we talked about, like, what are we waiting on? At some point, guy's going to break down. Not that he's not going to bounce back from it, but at some point, he's going to get hurt. So why are we wasting bullets? If he's getting outs and learn how to get people out, however he is, whatever type of pitcher he is, then when we stunk, it was always like, well, why don't you just bring guys up? If they stink, who cares? Then we find out they stink. Like that, everybody knows. He stinks too. So don't rely on him in 5 years because he stinks out loud. Like we're good. Everybody's good. Now we know.
Yeah, I mean, how many years was Ryan Howard in the minors before we finally brought him up?
Well, in defense of that, you signed Jim Thome years prior.
Well,
to sell your new ballpark, and he sort of held him back. Obviously.
Yep.
And I don't think the Phillies
Hall of Famers do that.
I don't think the Phillies knew Howard was going to be that good of a prospect until all of a sudden he was that good of a prospect.
Yeah, well, that too. I mean, yeah, he was special. Him and Bryce have a lot of similarities in big moments too.
Yeah.
Similarities? You mean onions?
Onions. Kyle Tucker. I don't know, SJM. I don't know that Tucker's available anymore, especially as Noah pointed out, especially with the Houston Astros playing a lot better.
Yeah, no way. They're going to hang on to him.
Damn.
I think
it's
Houston
possible
might make another deep run.
It's possible he'd be available in the offseason because I don't know that Houston necessarily wants to pay him, but I don't think he's available right now.
Well, on another note, Gary Trent to Milwaukee. Come on, Gary.
Yuck.
Come on, Gary. I mean, you were linked here. Right? I mean, what are we doing? All right, come on, Gary. I did that one for Luke. You know what I mean?
There was a red carpet rolled out for him. Come on.
1 year. We couldn't get 2 here. You know what I mean?
We had Johnny Airport's there waiting for you.
Yeah, Johnny Airport, a 2-year deal. What are we doing, guy? Oh, man. But yeah, listen. I don't know who else you're going to get, right? Because everybody's in it. So when you talk about the deadline, deadline, it gets hard because the extra wild card just leaves more teams in contention that shouldn't be in contention, which is fine. I'm all good for letting, we reap the rewards of it. So I have no problem of having it, but it hurt. I don't say it hurts the deadline, but it does. But listen, they don't need a lot, man. If Rojas plays defense like he's been playing, I think he came up and started playing better defense from what I've watched.
100%, Tommy.
So I'll take that as he learned something. Calm down, slowed the fucking
His
game
base
down.
running's improved as well.
Well, just listen. Sometimes the slap on the hand wakes dudes up. You want to go first class, or you want to do coach all day, right? Like how you want to operate.
You want those good post game buffets, or you want a pack of crackers?
Peanut butter again. You know what I mean? Like what do you want? So showers are better. I mean, everything's better. So I mean, you
want to live at the hotel, or do you want to live with 4 other stinky dudes?
Yeah.
You want Davio's or Mission Barbecue? You know?
So it just doesn't open up as much of a talent pool as prior. But then then it comes down to like, okay, the guys who are available, like Miller. So you might have to do a little bit more to get a guy like that because there's not anything else available. Right. And that puts you in that situation too.
You have to start going to teams that are obviously already way out of it, right? And so you look at
I would say Oakland.
Oakland fits that bill. Oakland fits that bill.
They ain't playing muddy ball anymore.
No. And the White Sox fit that
not
bill.
Even trying to win.
Another name I've heard linked is Tony Pham.
Tommy Pham, yeah.
Tommy Pham.
Tony. Hey, Tony.
I said Tony. Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony Pham.
All right. Throw his brother Tony in the trade. Why not?
I'll take a Rosarena yesterday.
A Rosarena is a guy you could probably get. I don't know. There's
yesterday.
Blue Jays. Yeah.
I've been on
yesterday
for months.
Yeah.
Like why? Why is that not done? Like,
Taylor Ward from the Angels is probably a guy you can get. Maybe even Joe Adell. I have questions, like baseball IQ questions about Joe Adell, but he was at one point a number 1 overall prospect.
That's good. So that tells me he's pampered.
Possibly.
No, not possibly. That tells me he's a pampered little, you know what. So I'm good. That took me in a story of what I did today to catch. You guys want to hear a quick story with dog days? Dog days. So he won't tell me he's sorry for something. So I wasn't going to let him win. So you let him win. You let the 3-year-olds win when they can win, right? It was whatever. I'm not going to argue with you because you're not even listening to me. But today I was not letting him win because he needed to say sorry. It was important. And it's going back and forth. Wouldn't do it.
Boy, Dad.
And I said, you're being a little asshole, right? His face went. He started crying. He said, "I'm not an asshole. That's not a nice word, Daddy." And I just like broke down too. And I give him the biggest like hug, like I'm sorry. But then it created a moment where it's like, look, I'm saying I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now you say you're sorry. And he's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, all right. I won, even though I lost. I ended up losing.
I love it.
Always teachable moment.
Today was a learning day.
Yeah. That's what we did here. Oh, my kid, an asshole. Good parenting, I think.
How do we follow that?
Hey.
No, I don't know how. A Rosarena?
Dirty Randy?
The Oakland A's had a lot of learning days this year until they showed up to our ballpark.
I don't know how available he is, but I wonder, and I think he'd be a no-brainer, but I wonder if Washington would part with Lane Thomas.
We talked about that name forever, too.
Yeah.
I like Lane because I think he's good defensively. He's a great athlete.
He kills us every time we play him.
Well, we know how that's going to work, but I'll still take him. Like I'll roll the dice, right? I'm rolling the dice. Like I know it's going to work. It's going to be 0.58. You know what I mean? You got to go about 0.58 down the stretch. Like, good move, but he wears us. He wears our life out.
And I think he's going to be fairly available because Washington's all their top prospects are outfield prospects.
In division, though?
That's the tough one, right? In division. But I think they don't want to pay him. And like I said, all their top prospects are outfielders. They just called up James Wood. Dylan Cruz is right there. And then there's another third guy in the outfield that is killing it for them. But they don't have any space for him right now because Lane's there and stuff like that.
Yeah. That makes more sense than anything. So, now does Washington want to keep giving us players since Rizzo's still there? Like, if Mike Rizzo wasn't still there, I would say, okay. Like, I mean, his whole freaking team's here. So, right, you know what I mean? All the billboards going to take down. You know, Turner and Harper, right? Like, I mean, I can't imagine Mike Rizzo wants to do business with us. But listen, what's Lane Thomas cost you? Now, doing business in the division, it might cost you a little bit more than what it's going to cost you.
Maybe one top tenner and a couple fringe guys.
Remember when they had an attitude?
Yeah.
Oh, Mikey's back.
Yeah, he's back now. He's back. We saw the comments. We're working on it, guys. We're here. We appreciate everybody chiming in because sometimes we can't tell.
Well, now Nationals Park is CBP South again.
Yeah.
Josh says, don't want the character fam in the clubhouse. What do we feel about that? Is our clubhouse strong enough to withstand douchebags, per se? Agree with
It's a great question.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I think it is. And I don't know how much of these stories are just overblown. Right? I mean, with Tony Guy. No, I'm not necessarily a Tony guy, like, per se, but his name's been linked there a lot recently because he's definitely available. Right?
I like Tommy. I like him as a player.
But he'd be a platoon guy. So, like, how much of a big head is he really going to have coming in here?
Oh.
He's your right-handed platoon to Marsh. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, but he seems to have a big head wherever he's at.
He didn't cause any issues in Arizona last year. They just didn't re-sign him.
Oh.
Arizona came in here and he hit some balls.
No, Tommy can swing it. I ain't gonna question like, being able to play a little bit for sure. It's a good right-handed option. It's probably better than what Witt was. It's what Witt was supposed to be. I think he can bring you what Witt was supposed to be. You know, the other stuff I just don't know, but I would think it's strong enough, right? I would hope it's built like that. But I agree. Like, I'm not clamoring for him. I'd rather get like an Arozarena, a Thomas. You know, I'd rather go that route, looking for outfielders than a guy who's a known problem sometimes. Yeah. Even if it is overblown, right? Nobody's giving him an extension. Nobody's saying, "Hey, stay here again." You know what I mean? Like, nobody's doing it. So, I mean, there's something to that.
How many teams has that guy played for again?
I feel like he played for half the league.
He played for a lot of them.
Yeah.
Well, how many times do we talk about culture, though? You know.
Yeah.
Is that a guy you want in your clubhouse?
Hell no.
Then I start to show off with that.
I don't know. I was late. That's my bad.
No, Luke. No, and I start to show off with like the culture and how this is. You know, Bryce Harper said it, so we're not lying to you when we talk about the importance of like, hey, loving to go out to dinner with guys, loving to play cards with guys, loving to hang out with each other's families, loving to practice with each other, loving even more the game days with each other. Yeah, going to the park, liking and loving who you play with matters. Yeah. Matters. All the talent in the world does.
You're hanging out with them every day, 24/7 for 7 freaking months. You better get along with them.
Yeah, football talks about culture and they talk about family, and it's a big football thing. Well, you know, it's not talked enough about in baseball. Like, that's a grind. That's a 162 or plus postseasons. That's they are your family. That's who you're around all the time. So you at least need to like them enough, or say, hey, I hate this guy, but man, on game days, this dude balls. Right, and then you can deal with it. Right, you can deal with it, but you have to have you. It doesn't even have to be your best players. You just need to have a strong culture to win.
Well, that's the NBA, Tom.
All right.
I don't like this guy, but on game day he balls.
Yeah, the whole league. It's like the whole league.
It is the whole league.
The whole damn
league.
The
whole. Damn you! Get out of my head. But I also think, to the other side too, you bring a guy like that into a winning culture, into a winning organization, I think he's going to fall in line as well, right? I think all he wants to do at this point, because we mentioned he's been on just about every team. At some point, you're going to want to win.
Now we're back to Jazz.
No,
Jazz is out. They've announced that Jazz is out.
Good.
And I don't hate Jazz.
Seamlessly where?
He's just a lefty.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, seamlessly got me.
Definitely not seamless.
I love weed. Says no real sports tonight. I won 420 off a dollar holla on WNBA props.
Get it?
There you go.
That number seems pretty ironic with your name there.
Yeah, I thought it was like, great product placement. Yeah, great product placement out of here. What up, Derek?
What up, D?
Derek Walters.
When did they move the ESPYs off of this night?
Oh, didn't matter. Oh, yeah, recently, I think maybe last year.
Yeah, because it was always the day after the Major League Baseball game was the ESPYs.
Because literally nothing's on.
When's it on now?
Doesn't matter. Now you got A2D Wednesday nights.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, where your dog day?
Well, I thought they should have had the first
drop
night
a
of the draft
super
tonight,
chat
too.
in. You know what I mean? Drop a super chat in. Drop a treat in. You know, ain't many cats gonna come on with nothing on. You know what I mean? We didn't have a Phillies game to talk about.
Let's get us 8 more likes. 25 likes.
25.
I want more, but let's start with 8.
Yeah, let's just start with pounding it. Let's start with pounding it. See how it feels. I'm telling you guys, it's gonna feel good. Hit the like, subscribe, follow. Just a tip. Just a tip. See how it feels. Right? That's it. I don't know what else to say tonight. But I got a baby coming.
It's close.
Oh my goodness.
We talking hours or days?
Hours, I believe.
Ooh.
Cass came on. Well, Cass didn't come on Wednesday night, but I told the boys before the show, like 2, 3 in the morning. I went to the hospital with Cass after a Wednesday night show, A2D Wednesday night. So, got a feeling she wants to, follow his lead a little bit, or it's just next Wednesday. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Stay in rhythm.
Yeah, rhythm and timing.
Rhythm shooter.
But yeah, I mean, that's it really with the names. There's not a lot of other free agents circling back to it.
Yeah.
I'm not free agents, sorry. Trade targets that you're really going to be able to get. So
there's a couple guys that were out there earlier, like a Cody Bellinger, stuff like that. Like, he's hurt, first of all, and the Cubs are still somewhat in it.
All right, all in for Rosarena.
Yeah, I'm like Dirty Randy or Brent Rooker.
Yeah, I'll go Rosarena.
Oh, I prefer it. Yeah, I think he's got the better.
Yep.
Every time there's a big game, that dude gets big hits. That's all I know. And we're going to have to win big games.
Yeah.
There's going to be guys at times that don't hit. So I'll take a guy that's a proven big clutch hitter every goddamn day, and twice if we got to play a rain out on a Sunday. All right? Whatever we got to do, I'm all in. Let's go. Hey, Dave. I've been loving you. I've been all over you. All right? Now you got 2 weeks. Go get us Randy. All right? Knock it off. There's your right-handed bat with Marshy. Play both of them. Good times. It doesn't matter. And then you can play Randy over, or you put Marshy center, Randy in left, and give Rojas days off if you need to. So, and bring him in defensive replacement late in games. So you got options here, babe. You got options. You come here to be a starter. Let's go get him.
Yeah. That last one is probably, if you go get a Rosarena, is probably the role.
Oh,
look at that. On cue. Love it, Weed. Love it.
Wow. You are a dope.
No, have some class. All right.
He just super chatted us.
Not all the time you gotta be. You see one word, you see 2 words, and you lose your mind.
He's not a dope. He likes dope.
Noah's throwing snowballs at him. That's what we're going to talk. We're going to talk about 10 years from now. You remember when Noah threw snowballs on a live show at I Love Weed because he said "Go Cowboys" and gave us a 420 super chat that we really appreciate. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, screw the Cowboys, but appreciate the super chat. They're not even like in today's world. They're not even enough to. They don't even faze me. You understand? Like, I don't even care enough to dislike them because they're just not relevant enough. People try to make them relevant, but in my brain, they ain't relevant.
Not yet.
I find the CD Lamb situation hilarious. Like, they haven't learned from anything. They're gonna wait to pay him. You know how that ends up? He doesn't play, and you stink, or he's pissed off and he doesn't want to play for you anymore. Look at San Francisco.
Yeah.
I mean, these teams, if we can afford all the guys that we got, you can afford Dak Prescott and CD Lamb. I find that fairly reasonable.
They didn't learn.
Yeah,
They didn't learn.
They play in $1 billion playpen in that stupid-looking stadium of theirs. It's about as kind as I can be, and they can't afford it.
It was good. It was well done, sir.
You know,
Well done.
good Lord.
No, when did you become the grumpy old man of this show? I thought that was my role.
No, he's had that one. He's had that one for a while.
I've been grumpy my whole life, brother.
Big Murph chiming in. Bottom line, the bullpen is performing great. I want an actual closer. I couldn't agree with you more at this point. We've all seen how it goes in the postseason. He said the Roden Razor, Rooker, and an end of the bullpen guy. So, I mean, if you got a Rosa, Reyna, and Miller, it's like home run. Like, you just walk down broad. This is a good broad. I mean, we're already going anyway, but it's like just slams the door.
And if we're going for Miller, if we're already going for Miller, you might as well throw Rooker off the bench.
No, stop. Now we're playing MLB The Show.
We are. We absolutely
are.
We know how Rob does his lefty lineups. Like, we know how that's going to be.
We're not getting Rooker, a Rosa Reyna, and Mason Miller. I'll put ATD on.
We glazed Miller on the plane ride over. Rooker was there, I think.
I mean, we could talk to John Fisher. Maybe he'll throw us Ricky Henderson out of retirement or something while we're at it.
I'm not saying you can't get Rooker and Miller, but I don't think you're getting all three.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, you just got.
But the problem is too, outside of Miller, there is not that closer available.
No.
So outside of Miller, it's not
baby
there.
Brink truck. You back up a baby Brink.
And just playing devil's advocate, Miller hasn't pitched in a big game before in his life.
Yep.
So if we're sending all this to think that he's going to be the lights out guy at the end in the playoffs, we just don't know that he can do that yet.
First All-Star game.
Well, he'll have some big games in August and September.
Hold on. Everybody.
I'm not saying he's not great. I'm not saying he's not pitching well.
I'm not. Hold on a second. Was the other night his first All-Star game?
Yes.
Okay. How'd he throw?
I don't know. I didn't watch.
That's awesome.
Greg, I got 3 numbers for you.
I was there for Livy. I was there for Livy Dunn and all the Phillies' first at bats, and then I tuned it off.
104.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, he's walking in the bathroom.
Me too.
With a phone out. Love me some Livy for sure. You know what I mean? Jump all around. You know what I mean? Flip on over. But listen, backflip. But listen, at the end of the day, I don't know, because you did all this. You did all this.
Flustered you with the Livy, I know.
Yeah, you start blushing. You know what I mean? Did she talk to me? You know
hey, Liv!
Everyone's blushing. Where are we at?
104. 104.
Yeah,
he closed 104.
Okay.
Let's go get him.
It's an all-star game. Like,
I don't care. Go get him.
It's against the best guys around.
Not in the all-star game. Not anymore. They had all the backups were in.
So the backups are the best. So really good baseball players were in.
Who do you face?
I don't know. Go look up who faced. Go look it up. No, I want you to go look up and circle back with me.
Let me go look up a game log.
No. You started this.
I did.
Now you got me clamoring. You would think we're getting Dennis Eckersley, right? No,
that's what everyone thinks we're getting. No, because I 104 right by Marshy.
All right, can you? Oh my God, grow up, Peter Pan. Can you go? Go Google. Go Google what he did. All right, let's go Google. Circle back, and we'll see where we're at with it. You started it. So now you got to go finish it.
I'll make this comparison real quick. I was thinking about this while you guys were talking. I'll leave it to you baseball guys, but it's kind of similar. I want a bullpen guy, and Aiden Miller's a great name, but even a guy like Lorenzen. I get it didn't really work out last year, especially right after the no-hitter happened. But I'm looking at a name just small like that because it reminds me of when these NFL teams get into the trade deadline, right? Everyone who's contending is all looking for an edge rusher. You can't have enough of them, and if they come to your team and they don't work out, they sit the bench, and your team's exactly the same, and you're good. You're better with, an edge rusher you know nothing about than not making the move at all. Feel the same way about the arms in the bullpen. I'm very okay with just saying we'll make a minor move. We're not going to give up too much of our future because we all were the same people, and Tommy made the point earlier that complained this offseason that they didn't make a move, and now here we are.
Yeah, no, I actually was probably the one in agreement that they didn't have to this offseason. Like, they've made their moves. They've done what they needed to do. They're set up to win. And Dave was right. Now, I would rather have the bullpen arm just because I want to be deep back there. You know, I like a Rosarena a lot. I'm okay with not touching that, right? I'm okay with it. If they didn't go out and get a right-handed bat, right? It's not the end of the world to me. But a Rosarena would really like put me over the top because he's a big game hitter. But if I came out of the deadline with those two guys, you know, I'm wondering how I'm not, you know, Vegas odds if I'm not already to win the whole damn thing. Because I don't know who's better. I mean, you got Alvarado and Miller coming out of the back end throwing absolute pellets at guys.
I'm Homer memeing over here, by the way.
I have your information, Tom.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. He struck out two known-name guys. I mean, who knows Shohei Ohtani and Trey Turner? I mean, two guys I've never heard of before in my life.
And a weak fly ball to left field out of a guy who was like a postseason hero last year.
Who?
Ketel Marte.
Ketel Marte.
Oh man, that is so big. I remember it.
I turned it off. So, and he pitched the fifth, so those guys were still in. I assumed he pitched like the eighth or the ninth.
So he went 1-2. So essentially he went 1-2-3 in the lineup.
Yeah.
That was the top of the lineup.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
So, and he dialed 104. So not a big game for your first time there. Yeah. See you later.
I should have went the other way. It was shorter. The Homer meme.
Yeah, 104 against Ohtani. He wasn't psyched up for that at all.
Yeah, it wasn't dialed up. I mean, Purdue probably can't wait to get out of Oakland.
No, for sure.
He probably had that on his calendar all year.
But his story is special. Like, his story is good, right? You know what I mean? D2, D3 guy.
D3 guy, yeah.
Used the transfer to get to, what do you spend a year at NC State? And then
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and then that's where he was found. Good story.
Yeah, it is. It shows you. There's different.
But he's he's the only guy out there for that role. There's no other guy out there.
No, it's go all in, man. And he's not like he's like 30, you know. So you're hoping to get a closer for the next, you know, X amount of years too here.
Yep.
And closers get paid big money. So if he's that good, he'll get paid what he's worth. And Oakland's never going to pay it. We will. I mean, all right.
Never going to pay it. I don't think they're paying their lease now.
You ain't lying.
I don't even think they're paying their fucking garbage bill.
No, probably not. Probably not.
God.
All right, so go Sixers. Give Luke his time.
Yeah.
I feel like since the last time I've been on, you know, they've done some things. So I'm really, you know, we'll spend the last like 10 minutes talking some Sixers before we get out of here. But I think they've done a really, I think Dave. Hey, Dave. Still on Dave. Dave lives rent free. I think Daryl Morey's done a good job. What do you guys think?
Totally. And I think he's given them, more importantly, is something that he's done here more than anywhere. He doesn't go into the season with his final roster. He wants to be the best possible team that they can possibly be come April and that whole stretch. And the reason I'm saying that is because of KJ Martin.
Yeah.
Everyone's expecting this move this summer. Could it happen? Sure. I doubt it does, though, because he wants to give himself that flexibility. He did it with Ben Simmons. He did it with James Harden. I have no reason to believe he won't do this with KJ. They're going to get better at the deadline. Or I'm not saying I think it's going to happen, but maybe KJ actually develops into something. And he's still a young player. He's room to get better. You never know.
Yeah, he's athletic.
Yeah.
Right. He's a really good athlete. I thought he rebounds well. You know, I'm sure there's things he needs. Obviously, there's things he needs to get better at. But like we said, throughout this transition, you still want young players around. And listen, if it turns out you move them because you get something back, then absolutely. If it turns out, like you said, Luke, that he ends up being a really good role player, then even better, right? Even better. Then it's a home run. So the more the more guys you can get that can compete at this level, the better. So, it looks like McCain can compete at this level for the most part. It looks like Ricky, obviously from what we saw last year, and he's only going to get better, can compete at this level. So for some of those young guys, we already know Tyrese can, but for some of those other young guys, that's an important thing to have, because that's how you get a championship. That's how you're able to get a championship when you got guys that are ready to win, but then you have young guys that can make up your roster, right? That can be competitive to help you be deeper. That's how you get deep when you're going to spend the money like they do.
Yeah,
you have 3 guys, essentially max guys.
This Ricky Council and real quick, this Ricky Council KJ Martin battle is going to be very interesting. That's going to be your last guy off your bench. They play the same position too. Outside of yesterday, Ricky's looked fantastic in Summer League. That'll be very, very interesting to see what they do there. I think they'll probably just play KJ to try to hope his value goes up in any sort of trade. But again, here we are again talking about young players not getting a chance to develop. It seems like there might not be room for Ricky Council to play if they do go KJ, which has been a problem.
It's entirely possible. Luke, what I was going to say was I think you could tell that the Sixers are just dead serious right now based on the way that they constructed their Summer League roster. Now, granted, they don't have the best Summer League roster in the NBA, but what they did was they built around the guys that they want to showcase and they really want to look at. And some of the complementary players that they've brought in have actually opened some eyes. So I like what they've done with the Summer League team, and, win or lose, I think guys are getting good run. I mean, Justin Edwards, first round talent who went undrafted, Sixers signed him to a Summer League tryout contract. I mean, come on. That's a big move right there, especially if he sticks.
Totally. He is a pro body. He hasn't looked great in the Summer League, but obviously he's very young. He could build into that.
They signed him to a 2-way deal, right? So he'll potentially spend most of the time in Delaware.
Oh, they did sign him to a two-way. Okay. I thought he was on a tryout contract.
No, just 2-way.
I'm glad they did that.
Sixers have filled 12 of the 15 spots so far, right?
Right. So they can have 1 to 3 more guys. Well, I think they're actually at 11. So they can have 1 to 3 more guys on their actual roster, because those 2-way guys don't really count. They can,
like David Jones is
he doesn't count.
Guys.
He doesn't count.
And they filled 2 of those 3 spots. So this is what they have of the 12, right? And I think this is where Daryl's done a fantastic job, right? You have Embiid and Drummond, and then you have Bona, okay? Then you have Paul George, Caleb Martin, KJ Martin, Kelly Oubre, Ricky Council, Tyrese Maxey, Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry, Jared McCain. So, dude, the Caleb Martin signing is a great signing.
Huge.
It's a great signing to go along with Oubre. The way this roster is constructed, there's so much stretch going on. There's so many guys that can hit open jumpers. There's guys who can create their own shots. It's not a bunch of guys who can just hit open jumpers, right? Kelly Oubre can create his own shot. Okay, Caleb Martin can create his own shot to a point, right? Those guys have the ability to create their own shots. So when you have that all around Embiid, Maxey, George, this is going to be fun, baby. This is good. Even if Joel misses some time, this roster is still really good. They're going to be competitive as shit. If Embiid missed the game, I think we can still win a game, right? That's how I look at this roster, the way they constructed it. So they want you want to bring me back? You want to bring me back? I'm back. I'm back in. Oh, I'm back in. I knew they were going to do it, and I'm back in. Because, those 12 guys, I'm really liking that. I am really liking what they've done. I think they have depth at the big spot, which is so important.
Huge.
You got a young guy who can learn and develop around 2 pros. That's always fun. And then, like I said, you bring in the Caleb Martin and Paul George. Now you still have a power forward issue. Okay.
I kind of disagree with that a little bit. I think that's the easiest way to go about this right now. If you were building a perfect roster, there's a few things that, 1, they don't have much flexibility to get them. And 2, we were talking about this, me and Greg, last week I love I can tell you what they're going to do defensively day one. So can everyone scouting against them. The fact that they can roll out with 3 actual legit perimeter defenders in Kelly, Paul George, and Caleb Martin, they don't need Embiid to be this crazy rim protector, weak side help defender anymore. They don't need that. They can finally, for the first time in his entire career, say, Joel, rebound. Because our guys are going to stick on the perimeter. Totally. We trust them. That's why we're going this route. So everyone who wants the 4, I get it. In a perfect world, I'm with you. But the way the CBA is, you only have so much money in the exceptions. I think this style can work as long as Embiid commits to rebounding, which he's never been asked to do in his entire career, really.
Well, Drummond will, right? We know
off your bench. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so that's a great point, Luke. And again, I'm just talking about like a Morris, right? I'm not talking about going out.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
I'm just talking about like a vet, some toughness, right? We always talk about having some toughness around, a guy who can score too at different points. He can be considered a starter, but a lot of times you're going to run maybe a little bit of a smaller lineup, right? So there's a lot of flexibility with it because they're not small with their small forwards, if that makes sense.
Not at all.
In today's NBA, when you got a 7'1" guy and another whatever, Drummond might be 6'11", right? But when you have those big guys that can rebound and rim protect.
Right, and what did we say? We said, yeah, size is great and we'd want size, but all I was preaching all summer was athletes. How do you get more athletic? They have 3 guys. I get it, Paul George is a little older. He's not going to do as much of that as he did. But they have 3 legitimate athletes, and then you have Ricky Council, KJ Martin. Maybe Marcus Morris isn't the greatest athlete he once was, but at least he can score on the wing. I like that. But I kind of want to talk about Jared McCain for a second because a lot of people are getting on him, and I think it's solely because of the TikTok thing. I don't think – if he didn't make him, I don't think anyone would say a word. I wanted Dalton Connect. I still want Dalton Connect, but there's no reason to talk about it because McCain's the guy we have, right? I hate the argument of, especially from Sixer fans, that he's too small and that him and Maxey won't work. One, he doesn't need to work with Maxey, especially right out the gate. I doubt they ever play on the court together this year. And number 2, what playoff series were you? We just lost to the New York Knicks. Who was the demon, the 6'1" demon that came off of their bench and lit us up next to their 6'2" or however tall Jalen Brunson is guard? Miles McBride.
Yep.
I'm not crowning McCain and thinking he's some unbelievable player. I think that he, at the very least, could become that. And that is at the very least valuable. Would I rather have Connect? Sure. Yes, I would. But we don't have to sit up here and talk about summer league stats when he's creating his own shot every single time down the court in a glorified pickup game. Do you know how many more open shots he's going to get with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and Paul George on the court? Come on.
Dalton Connect sounds great in the moment, right? That sounds like, okay, a guy that more you feel like can play right away, blah, 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 right? And I'm not running from that's the name I liked more. But, there's a lot of guards that are smaller in this league, Jalen Brunson, that, you might say, oh, he doesn't have the elite quickness to take you off the dribble, but he still takes you off the dribble. You understand? He still gets to his spots. Basketball is all about being able to get to your spot, right? Wherever you want to get to on the court. And if you have the ability to get there, it doesn't matter if you're the quickest or fastest guy, right? So I like the kid. I think he can play. So it's not like we drafted some guy who I'm like, oh, man, you missed because you didn't take Connect. Like, I wouldn't say we missed.
No.
Like, he might end up being better. So I'm not going to come out here and say we missed on something. Time will tell. But he's talented.
Yeah.
He's talented. And there's no reason in today's NBA, if you have big guys that like 2'6" guards or 6'1" guards can't play together for 25 minutes a night. I mean, we watching the same game.
That literally we lost to that in the playoffs. We lost to that. What are you watching? I don't understand. We literally just lost to that. And he's a very good defender. I would argue he's already a better defender than Miles McBride is right now. I would debate that 100%. He's got that big build. He's going to grow. He's only 19. He's not a finished product. I'm not even saying he's going to play right off the bat. I'm not sure of that
he plays bigger than his height too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does. I mean, that was the that was the word on the street as well on draft night. That he ain't playing like he's 6'1" out there.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here, too. I really think Bona is going to force his way into the rotation. And Luke, you talked about many, many times athletes. This guy is so active and athletic. Yes, his offensive game isn't polished, but I feel like as a rim protector, as a rebounder, as a guy who could just cause havoc on the defensive end of the floor, I could see Bona getting 8 to 10 minutes a night of run with, the second unit just to try to lock it down defensively.
Yeah, and you give Drummond a night off, right, Mike? Like you do these things throughout the year, right? Because you want to get the guy some experience, especially in games where you're up big, down big, and then you put him in some games where it's a little tighter, right? And you grow him into it a little bit, right?
Yeah,
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I think he's super athletic. I completely agree with you. I think it's a good project for this staff to get their hands on. We know do a great job with that stuff. So,
not to say he won't get better at it, because he can. Definitely, he's still very young. But day one right now, he's kind of got that little B-ball Paul disease where if he plays 8 minutes, he'll find a way to get 5 fouls. So he's got to become a little bit more.
If you have them, might as well use them.
Yeah, I mean, I like he is small for his position. I was just about to say, like, especially if you go in a playoff series and that second unit is throwing out a small ball lineup at you, and Andre Drummond just cannot keep up. There's where I kind of see him playing. Otherwise, I just think he's so young and undisciplined as a defender that it's a little bit risky because he is very foul happy. He loves to foul.
yeah,
Agreed. But I do feel like you can teach defense.
Totally.
And I think you can teach defense a hell of a lot more than you can teach offense.
Yeah.
I just think maybe this is just my untrained eye, but I just see so much athleticism there that
Yep.
I do feel like it's going to be hard to keep him off the court, even if it's just for short runs. But you're absolutely right. Too many fouls, and the offensive skills really need improvement.
yeah, big time, big time, big time. But not this roster. This roster looks like it's going to be able to score at an elite clip, defend. So I'm excited, and there's still some pieces that they got to fill out. They got 3 more roster spots they got to fill out, which obviously I'm sure will happen after Summer League, is my guess.
Yeah.
But we'll see what they do there. But exciting. Phillies are exciting. They're going to win 125 games. So
Whole city's exciting. Right?
Yeah,
We got the Russian coming.
The Russians coming. The Eagles are coming.
The Russians coming. The Eagles are coming.
Eagles are getting good press right now with this old Giants.
Oh, this is so great. This is so great watching those.
Awesome. It's great.
Like, I think he
could happen to a better franchise.
Yeah. Night, Joe. Night, Joe.
No, Joey. He might rush for 2K.
Against the Giants.
them. Against them.
Yeah, it's one team.
Yeah.
Madden on easy. He's like, oh, we're playing Madden on super easy. Like, we're gonna put Madden on toddler. This is like where toddler can play it, and we'll just run amok on you. Like,
Saquon's line first game against the Giants: 19 carries for 322 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the new Boston Scott, always scoring touchdowns against the Giants.
Yeah, there he is again.
It's the revenge game.
I mean, what a shit show in New York. I can't imagine. I cannot. Wow. It is hilarious. They're just getting exposed like this, too, is crazy for everyone to see.
Yeah, the crazy thing is they didn't have a bad offseason.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is they didn't have a bad offseason. They did some good things.
I just don't understand how you can go from one offseason, literally a year ago, and say we need Saquon for Daniel Jones, right? Or no, they said we need Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Well, now they're saying, well, we need Daniel Jones to raise and get better. Whatever. You need Saquon for Daniel Jones. What the hell are you talking about?
Listen, this is
You're
what
gonna
I'll
let him
say.
walk?
This is what I'll say. I feel like they didn't know what the market was for him.
Which
They
is Not acceptable. You're a general manager. What the heck? You've been working on this for a year and a half. What the hell are you doing?
No, I agree. I'm just telling you right. This is how crazy it is. Like he didn't know the market on him. So he instead of getting a deal done and offer him, because he was so worried about offending him, he was more worried about offending him with an offer than just giving him a great deal. Right. So that's what allowed Saquon to go call other teams. Right?
Yeah, and by the end of it, he was all pissed off because
now he's mad because
and he said on the phone, "Hey, do I have your word that you'll get back to me?" And he's like, "Yeah." No way he got back to him.
No, because he's like, "Well, you don't have a deal ready for me." Like I'd say, wait, you don't have a proposal ready? You don't have an offer in your pocket? Right? Like,
yeah,
what
come back to us though.
Make sure you call after you hear, because we want to hear what people are offering. Now, if you want to say, "Hey, listen, go see what you're worth," because we want to give you more than that. Okay, well, that's a great negotiation because you're like, yo, we think your value is so high and we want you back. We want to take care of you too. So we want to let you go see what the market is, but come on back because we're gonna make it worth your while, right? And you do it like that. So
and I love
if you team offer you 37, you offer him 42. You know what I mean? And that's how you sell a guy. You don't sell a guy like, go see what's out there. Come on back to us.
You're gonna call us back, right? You're gonna call us back, right? I love how like we didn't overpay them from what like they were thinking that much, right? You know what I mean? Like it guarantees $1 million more, right? The annual is like what, $500,000 more. Like I just love how it was. All right, let's just be above where they're at, and we know we'll get them.
It's dumb because there's so much there's just so much nuance there. Like Tom, like you were saying, all you have to do is tell the guy, go out, find out what your market is, come back, we'll top it.
Yeah.
They say, no, just go figure out what you're worth. Well, I'm gonna go figure out what I'm worth, and then I'm gonna sign somewhere else because you're too goddamn dumb to give me what I'm worth.
Yeah, it's complete.
Well, it's partly that, and I think he's tired of playing for double-digit loss teams.
Right. Yep. I was about to go.
No, he knows his day in the sun isn't. I mean, he still has some tread on the tires, but he's not going to play forever. And he wants to strike while the iron's still hot, and he wants a ring. Damn it! And I think that's why he signed here.
Don't these clips make you want to like just put a camera in Brett Brown and the old days face and see what the heck they got exposed with? I would love to hear the phone call that he made that traded Zaire Smith to get Zaire. Oh my God, I would have loved that. Or the meeting where they're talking about Al Horford. I mean, you can name a bucket list of things. Oh my God,
Zaire Smith. What's he doing these days?
He's on the Cleveland G League team. Yep, G League and Summer League team.
Yeah.
He actually had probably the highlight. He actually probably had the highlight of the summer, which
he had a big dunk the other day, didn't he?
Yep, that was probably the highlight of the summer. So,
and then I think someone from Miami just yoked on someone today too.
Here's my question on that. What is the higher number? Mikal Bridges' career high in a game or Zaire Smith's total career NBA points?
Oh, easily Mikal.
Yeah.
Easily Mikal. I don't even remember him ever playing, honestly. That feels like forever ago.
He got a bucket or two, I feel like, but not a lot.
Yeah.
He was
Zaire might not have 20 plus for his entire career.
I mean, he had the allergy.
Peanuts.
Yep, peanuts.
Cracker Jacks. He didn't care if he ever came back.
No.
All right, we're going to come back next Wednesday night.
Even in basketball.
Yeah, me too. All right, boys, we're going to come back Wednesday night. Anything else on our way out? I think we covered it all. Everybody's winning championships here.
Go Phillies. Anybody going out to PNC Park this weekend?
I got a couple buddies. Friday's supposed to be Noah Skeens. That's supposed to be the matchup Friday.
You know what Greg's waiting on.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Livy Dunn.
By the next time we talk to Tom, he's going to have another kid.
Possibly. Possibly. would be nice.
Well,
It'd
good
be
nice.
nice.
Brother. Good
Yeah.
luck.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
good luck, Tommy. All the best to you and the family.
Yeah, we're gonna get after it. You know what I mean? I'm a great teammate, and I said that tonight. I'm a great teammate. Right? I'm coaching. What do you need? What do you need? I got the cubes. I got you rip my hand off.
Don, what up, brother?
Rip my hand, Donnie. Rip my hand off. You know what I mean? If you need to, I'm here. Great teammate. Say a lot of bad things about me, maybe. Bad teammate isn't one of them.
Don, hit that like so we get to 20. Let's go.
Yeah, grow up, Don. That
Grow up.
wasn't done. If that wasn't done,
You show up late and you missed the like. Let's go.
If that wasn't done when you walked in the door, Don, the coffee and the Edmonds is on you then.
No coffee cake tonight. No coffee cake.
None. You ain't dipping. You ain't dipping in the coffee tonight. You know what I'm talking about? Takes you back to the 80s. We're back in the 80s.
Yep.
Great time to be alive. People could just walk in. Somebody walks in today. I'm run. I'm like, I'm diving behind something. You know what I mean? You think
There he is.
You think the army came in. You think the army walked in to get me. I'm diving. Yeah, it's Uncle Bill. What are you doing? He just jumped out the window. He went papers out the window. Oh, different time, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
You guys get a doorbell. Somebody rings your doorbell. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, everyone shut up. No one's home. No one's home.
Who called? Somebody coming by? The Sebastian Manafaro, that's the greatest one. But
Yeah.
it's the truth. It's the truth.
Oh, he's great. He's hysterical.
We got Don. Look at Don. Don's going to say another hour. Well, Don, you go back and listen to the first hour and 26 and enjoy yourself. Yeah, KZ, Howie's the greatest GM in the city. There's no questions about that right now.
Howie might be the greatest GM in sports.
Yeah, Howie's unbelievable. I just can't wait to boat race people. Like my excitement for the Eagles is me. I'm not even excited about it because I just expect this to be awesome. And if we're not, I'm gonna flip out.
Yeah, and guess what? Guess who's the worst GM in the city? Howie Roseman. That's how this works.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. Well, I mean, listen. If we're not winning, we know why.
Yeah.
If I gotta say more, then we ain't paying attention.
Let's go get some flowers. That's all.
Yeah. I think you're most likely right, but it wouldn't totally shock me if this coach is just clueless. But I'm with you though.
Yeah, but I don't think he's running the show now.
Right, which to me, I don't know.
He just walk in the building, Luke. He's just shaking hands.
I don't like that. I don't like it.
He's overseeing. He's overseeing.
I don't like an overseer. I'm
not telling you I like an overseer. I'm telling you what's happening. Yeah, I'm not telling you I like it. I'm enlightening everybody.
So who's the liability? I'm not trying to defend against what you're saying. I'm pretty much with you. But at what point do you look at him to be the liability of the team, potentially?
He is, but he don't play.
It's still a liability. This guy's get paid millions.
Liability is if my quarterback turns the ball over 20+ times.
I'm with you. Yes.
So that's my liability. I don't give a shit who's coaching. Ball security's on you. People tell me schemes and want to all 22 me. All 22 it up your ass. What it comes down to, if you turn a football over at a high clip, that Houston, that's a problem. So I don't care what the coverage was. I don't care about nothing. When you turn the ball over, you turn the ball over. And that's what he did last year. So franchise quarterbacks can't do that. And I'm not saying he doesn't know that. Obviously he knows that, but he better be more like he was the year prior than last year, or that we start questioning how good of a deal that is. And this ain't the hate Jalen Hurts train. Yeah. I'm all for Jalen. I think he's the hardest worker we know. But don't let money change you, baby. That's all. Because I hope all that stuff's not true. So come out and ball and show everybody that all the reports and bullshit reports they probably are not true. You know, you put those reports to sleep, you win. You win.
Yep.
Bingo.
Win.
Hey, they signed Carson to a massive deal, and as soon as he started turning the ball over, it was next man up. It's not going to be any different with Jalen.
Bobby away in it.
That's correct.
Uh-oh.
What's the move before
Protect the damn ball and know when to get rid of it.
Don really wants this hour. He does.
He always wants it. You know what I mean? Does it when we were 3
James
hours in.
Franklin talk. We got James Franklin talk.
I wouldn't extend him an NCAA 25.
What's the move before camp? Stay
Justin Simmons keeps on chugging away. The longer
NCAA
he's out
25.
there. Yeah.
That's it. It's
Great.
Justin Simmons, or they go into camp as is.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, you know what the whole deal with camp is? I don't give a crap. Stay healthy. Nothing else matters. We're gonna get all the reporters. You know what I mean? All the sheets. Get the big bounce ones for the dryer. You get the big bounce ones because they're coming. Oh, this guy who was a 75th round pick, 22 years ago. You look at him now. He's catching everything he can. Okay. All right. I don't care about the young guys.
And
I care about, you know what I mean?
Jalen's the worst quarterback in the league in training camp.
We're going to get the Elliott Shore.
Yeah, we're getting training camp stats.
Yeah,
Elliott Shore Park stats. Jalen's Joe Montana.
Yeah. No, I either get those or
today.
You either get the Joe Montana or you get like the Nate Sudfeld ones out there. I mean, you can go either way. All the picks or all the touchdowns.
Oh yeah. You can go. It can go both ways, but
it was 7 for 10 against no defense today. What?
Yeah. 7 for 10 against the coaching staff. What? Nick was playing.
Who dropped 3 balls?
Yeah. Like who was wide open? Like what? Oh man. Like
8 of 9 in shorts. Gee.
Yeah, like that's all the thing. Like shorts and a t-shirt don't matter. It's about there getting your reps in, getting better, creating chemistry with your brothers, and getting ready to win football games. So I mean, listen, it's a big year for the kid. I didn't want to say his name, right? But it's a big year for him.
Sure
it
is.
Really is. I mean, you got to be top 5 MVP. You got to be top 10 MVP, right? I'm not going to say 5, but you got to be in that conversation somewhere.
Does the contract start this year or next year?
Doesn't matter.
No, I know, but I'm saying like now
his future starts now, Greg.
Well, sure it does. Yeah,
I'm not trying to be a douche.
I'm pretty sure it does start this year.
Does it? Okay, so it's even more.
Right? I didn't even want to change the subject because I'm on it. I'm firing at him, so I didn't even want to change the money. You know what I mean, Greg? So sorry.
I mean, we know how this works, though. Kenny Pickett's gonna look like the best quarterback in the NFL in this camp, and here comes all. We'll be 90. We'll be WIP to death. It's gonna be great.
I'll start Noah Eaton before I start a guy wearing a glove. You understand?
Yeah. Tanner McKee.
I'm ready, Tommy.
Yes, I agree. Tanner McKee.
Yep. And he's got a cannon.
Rifle.
I'm ready, Tommy.
And he didn't go to Pitt.
That's right.
Yeah,
put me in.
No,
I might not complete a pass, but
neither
I'll
will
punch
he.
every Cowboys player in the face.
What is this? The replacements?
Yeah, right.
We'll pass on 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, boys. Great show.
Good stuff.
Everybody, have a great week out there. Hit the like, hit the subscribe on your way out. It's been HUD Wednesday nights. We'll be back next week. Obviously, talking more Phillies with you. And as we get closer, we'll be diving into a lot of Eagles. But it's it'll be heavy fills, and we'll see what else the Sixers do. I'm sure if there's something happens where it's worthy us opening with, we'll talk that. But we always circle the board. You know what I mean? Nobody circles the wagons like A2D Wednesday nights. This is what we do. What we do. That's Mike Mataraki, Noah Eaton, the number 3 quarterback for Philadelphia Eagles, Greg Wonkovic, Luke Brown. I'm
Put
talking
me
about
in, Coach.
I'm ready to play. All right, that's enough. That's enough. Everybody have a great night. We thank you, Bajos, Brad. Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Use promo code HUD. You get 10% off your order. We'll see you next Wednesday. We out.